Hey guys, Derek Dumas here. I know it's been a couple years since I've done a tutorial. A lot of things that I like to pride myself on, and a lot of my viewers pride on, is how quick my tutorials are and how quick the information is for them. So, with that being said, I had a lot of requests. Hey, how do you make skins for Rust? Everyone that I went into that I looked it up says you have to download Unity because that's the engine that runs on, or Rust runs on. Yeah, that is true. You can do that, but keep in mind, this is 10 gig. You have to sign up for an account. You have to do a whole bunch of stuff just to get Unity. We're going to skip all that. You don't need Unity. What you do need, go into blender.org, download the newest version of Blender. Just click on it, get that set up. The other one is gimp.org. Download that and get that set up. The next thing that you're going to want to do is jump into your C drive and then create a folder called projects. That's where I store everything. And then make another folder, right click, new, called models and one called textures. This is where your models are going to be. Now your models are not being uploaded to Rust. Rust will not allow it. They only allow textures to go up. The reason for that is if they were to upload, people were to upload all the models, I mean, that'd be a ridiculous amount of memory. A lot of memory, actually. And it would start confusing the game. The game would break. It wouldn't work right. But what this does is allows you to make templates. So say you're making a lot of shirts or a lot of face masks. All you're going to have to do is jump into it and you're good to go. So first thing you're going to do as soon as you download those and you have this set up and you have it nice and neat, so you can just go into C projects and then this opens up, you're going to go into Blender. No, I'm sorry. You're going to go into Rust. So we're going to be doing a face mask or a bandana. The reason why I'm choosing a bandana is because it's quick, it's simple, there's not a lot of faces. We call them seamless faces, so it looks like where one part of a picture stops, the other one goes. Because if you go to try to draw on the thing in paint, it gets very confusing, it's messy. We're going to avoid that. Hello. Okay, we're going to go into workshop, create new item, and I'm going to be going through the hotkeys too, because hotkeys are key. Yeah. Using your middle mouse button, press down and you can view around. You can also press Q to go up and E to go down. Or you can press W to go forward, S to go backward. We're going to choose bandana. So choose your item, go into bandana, press the middle mouse button and Q. There's the bandana. Now you're going to click on edit and you're going to download your diffuse texture, your normal texture, and your OC, your occlusion, basically the reflective surfaces, whatever. Underneath main, you're going to click on it, C. This is why I said go ahead and make your projects file, and this is going to go underneath models. Facemask.obj. Type in face mask down here because this is going to be completely blank. Facemask.obj. Save. Right here. This is underneath models. We're going to go up one to textures and we're going to call this face mask diffuse. There's going to be nothing here. Face mask diffuse. Oh, face mask under, I'll just do it. Face mask underscore DIFF diffuse. Hit enter. It'll say PNG, that's the file that it's going to save, and then you're going to save it. You're also going to do the same with your normal. So you're going to have face mask diffuse, just click that, and then delete this part and type in norm. And then enter. Save. Oh, that's open. Hit the download button. Save texture as, oh, underneath collision. You can choose norm or whatever. But we're going to go into this and we're going to do OC. Collision. There we go. Now I would keep this open, but my computer's been overheating, so if you guys like and share and I can get these monetized, it would go a long way and I can give you more kick-ass tutorials, you guys. Oh, that's nice. I just spilled coffee all over my keyboard. Canned air. Hooray. So, with that selected, you can keep this open. You can just go into options, audio, shut off the music, and then, or, well, no, keep everything the same. Just shut off your master volume. And then you can actually keep this window open if you have a powerful enough computer. That way you're not jumping between another program and then having this one to load up. I cannot because my computer's about to die on me. Had a divorce, pretty much lost everything. That's the reason why I'm not able to give you guys these tutorials. Not looking for a sob story or anything like that. Sorry. Then you're going to open up Blender. Right. I dragged and dropped, especially if you're editing. Drag and drop them down here. That way you can just click on them and get them ready to go. So we're dragging, dropping, and now we're good. So for Blender, if you haven't used it before, same thing. Press down on the middle mouse button to pan around. If you press or you scroll in with the scroll wheel, you can zoom out. If you press shift and then middle mouse button, you can pan left and right. Rotate by pressing down, in and out. Or if you press shift and then the tilde key, the key next to the number 1, then you can press W to move forward, S to move backward, A to pan left, D to pan right. Scroll up the mouse wheel and it'll change the speed that you're moving in and out. Q is actually to go down, not up, and E is to go up. So from the Rust game, where you were looking at before, where we downloaded all the models, it's just backwards. Instead of E going down, Q goes down and E goes up. So we're going to get into a nice section right here, or wherever, where we can and you just click the left mouse button to, deselect everything. And you can select individual objects right here. Nice and easy. Now the key is we're going to select all these by dragging a rectangle over, pressing delete. Or you can if you press delete, it automatically does it. Control Z undoes things. That's universal in all programs. Because if you select this and press X, which I like to be in a habit of, it asks you, hey, you sure you want to delete this? Whereas if you press the delete key, it just deletes it. So get into the habit of pressing X when you're in Blender and then just clicking on it, because you might be like, oh, wait, no, didn't want to do that. So let's bring up our model and get it ready for future uses. If you're making lots of different bandanas, lots of different things, this is what you're going to want to do. So File, Import, .obj, and I'm going to get rid of that. So let's get this set up. So we're going to go underneath the C drive. With the C drive, we're going to do, double click on C. We're going to choose projects, because this is what we're going to be choosing a lot more. We're only doing models, but we're also going to be importing other things as well. So hit add bookmark. This saves your project files there, so for the future when you're jumping into things, you're not clicking through a whole bunch of them. You can just click projects, models, face mask, and then type in face mask down at the bottom. Hit enter. Oh, nope. File, import. That's not saving it yet, sorry. File, import, obj, projects. See how easy that was? Models, face mask.obj. So now we have this right here. This we're not uploading the model. We don't have to worry about changing things. Let's just make this easier for when we're doing this again. So we want this face mask facing us. Hit R to rotate, and then we're going to want to rotate it 90 degrees. So 90. Once it's rotated 90 degrees, hit enter. If it goes the other way, hit -90. Up here, it's going to show you what you're doing. Control Z. So rotate 90. See in the top left where it says 90 degrees? That's telling you what you're typing in for a command. Now, we rotated that along the x-axis. You might run into something else. So let's specify that it's going up and down this axis. This is our x, which is our red. Our z is our up and down, which is blue. They don't show you that, but I'm sure there's a way to do that. Y-axis is, left and right. We want to rotate it along the x-axis right here. So R, rotate, x-axis, see how it says along global x right up here? And then we're going to do 90. Okay, it went backwards. So 90, we'll do -90. There we go. So now we want to rotate it facing us along the z-axis. So R for rotate with it selected, and then along Z, along global Z, 90. There we go. Perfect. Now we want to move it down a little bit. So G, the G button, that's your global movement. Same thing along the Z axis, and you can just scroll that down, bring that down, but if you want to go into the units, I believe it's 2.5. -2.5. There we go. So we'll just do -2. Enter. Good. This is all set up. It's good to go. We got that. Let's save it so that we no longer have to worry about it. So File, Save As. It's going to be a blend file, and just click on or type in mask template.blend. You might have to type it down. Yeah, you're going to have to. Mask template. Enter. It's going to automatically fill in the .blend. Save as. Good. This is all set up so that next time you're never going to have to download it. You just click on this and you can start making whatever. Keep in mind too that when you're doing project files underneath textures, you're going to want to name them. We'll do a new one, folder, and we'll call this Digi Camo. Now take a picture of your yard, take a picture of something, anything. We're going to use that as the texture. The reason why you want to do that is because a lot of photos are copyrighted and you can get yourself into some trouble. I'm not saying it will happen, but it's just better to be, not doing that. I'm going to delete these. So you should have just these right here, and then make one digicamo or whatever you're using, because this is going to be a pixelated version. If you click on this, so this is what we downloaded. We want to put that now into here. So clicking on the mask, that's called a material. You can load in a texture. A texture is nothing more than a piece of an object or a material. Materials have other information like the alt collision, or occult, whatever you call it, the OC, your normal, other things, tints, animation, or not animations, just different things that make up a material are things like textures. There's sometimes more than one. I've worked with, 15 different textures to make up one material. For this case, we're only using one texture, but we still need to make a material. So underneath default.obj, we're going to call this camo. Now that we've made that camo, our base color, if we move that around, it's going to change the color, but it'll also change the tint of whatever we load in. So let's click on this. We're going to click on image texture. Now, keep in mind, with what we're doing, you can pretty much just drag and drop whatever regular texture because it's not going to matter the way that they have this particular item set up. This is like the easiest to make things off of, but if you want to know what's going on, this is the way to do it. So right here, you'll see that little circle. We're going to add a new image texture. Now that we've set that as an image texture, you have new and open. We're going to click open. Click on projects, textures, and here's our face mask diffuse. We're loading that in. If you hit Z, hit material preview, hey, look, that's the one that they had in Rust. Hitting shift, scrolling over, hitting shift, pressing down middle mouse button. Cool. So now that we've selected this, we're going to go into UV editing. With that selected, this shows how it's set up. Now you have an idea as to how the creators of Rust went ahead and they did this. If you go over here, hit A twice, it'll deselect it. Clicking on that. Okay, so since we did that, that's all that this picked up. If you hit A twice, or hit A once, it'll select everything underneath that object. Hit Tab, and if you had another object on screen, you would select it. After you select an object, you hit Tab, it goes into edit mode. Double click A once, so it selects everything. Now, I want to know what each one of these are. So I'm going to scroll around, look at it, all right, or pan around, and get used to using your number keys on your number pad on the right-hand side of your keyboard. 7 goes above, 1 goes to the side, 3 goes to the front. 1, 3, 7. 1, 3, 7. So hitting A twice. Okay, we're zooming in. 3, 1, 7. Awesome. Hit Z and do just the wireframe. Now with just the wireframe selected, let's click this right here. Oh, hey, that's part of the tie right here. And that's the tie short. This is the tie, the long part. Now see how some of this is connected to this right here? You're not really going to notice that when you're in game. But for things like weapons, armor, where one of these stops and the other one picks up, you're going to have you're going to have problems. You're going to have big problems trying to figure out like, oh, hey, this looks like it's overlapping something else. That's why I'm telling you to get used to this right now. Okay, so selecting this too, see how it kind of goes off each time as a selection. If you press shift and select, makes it a lot easier. Shift, 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 hitting A twice, deselects it. Up here, these are your vertex selections. That means just one point. This is your, not your line, your edge. Edges are the lines. And then, of course, your faces are right here. That allows you to select a face to click it. So if you press shift and then click all these, you can kind of see build up on your right-hand side, or your left-hand side right here. See what they're doing? Which is awesome if you're trying to figure out different things and overlay them. So hitting Z and material preview, we're checking out everything here. To start off with and just get this tutorial going, I want you to hit A twice, AA, deselect it. And to select everything, hit A. Now that we have this here, you're going to click on UV and you're going to export your UV layer. What we're going to call this is face mask underneath projects, textures. We'll do Camo. We're going to call this mask temp. This is the first time you're really going to have to do this. Export layer or layout. Now that we have that in there, this is what it's going to look like. Oh, hey, that's cool. Now we have something that we're going to work with. Bring up Gimp And there's always different ways of doing things with computer programs. You can either A, file, open, which I suggest doing, or you can just take this and drag and drop it into there. Either way works. Now once you do that and you have this all ready to go, you're going to hit R for rectangle or select the rectangle, and we're going to select this whole entire space. With that whole entire space selected, there are two ways that we can do this. I'm going to show you both of them. The first one is the long one, and then I'm going to show you the quick way of doing it. We're going to select our little magic wand tool or the fuzzy select tool by either clicking on it or pressing U. So with that selected, we're going to select the rest of this transparent right here. See how these moving lines show that, hey, this is the selection? However, it was cut off down here at the bottom. That's good. You want that. Press Shift, select this as well. With both those done, we want to fill it in with a color. These colors might not be the same, so click on it, make them both white. One, click the other one, two. With both those white, you could do black too, but the problem is this is already black. Okay? These lines have already been chosen by default as whatever. Red shows up a lot. White's just the best one that, honestly, using it, it doesn't interfere with a lot of other colors unless you have lighter objects like light blue, light green, light whatever. Try to choose something opposite of what this is on the spectrum. With that selected, we're going to hit our fill tool and we're going to do 1 and 2. Or you can press Shift and then hit it and it'll fill both of them in. With those selected and that's filled in, press Control and C to copy it. With both of those selected, now we're going to go down here and we're going to create a new layer. We're going to call this Mask. We'll just call it Mask. Now we have this layer down here. Shut this off. Turn it on. These visibility things are going to show you how your layers are. With the mask selected, and make sure that it's highlighted on it too, so that the bar is going across it, drag over here, press Control and V. Once it's there, we want to finalize the selection by hitting R, or selecting this up here and clicking either on it, away from it, anywhere, so that nothing else is moving. There you go. Now we have that. Select the mask. You don't have to shut it off. Just get into the habit of viewing your layers. With the mask template right here, we're going to we're going to delete it. So you can either do it by right-clicking Delete Layer, or you can go down here and click Delete Layer. Either way, it'll work. Now that we have this, we're going to select the visibility. Make sure your visibility is selected if something's not showing up. And always make sure that your selection is right here. It's the one that you want. Now that we have this, we're going to duplicate this. So how many objects do we have on here? Separations. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to want to make 4 of these. Right-click, Duplicate Layer, right-click, Duplicate Layer, right-click, Duplicate Layer, and work with them one at a time. This one's going to be the actual face mask part. So double-click right here on the text, type in face. So now that we know we have that, we're going to select the whole thing by hitting R or going up here. And then we're going to choose our magic wand, fill in this area. I mean, I suppose you could just do that yourself, but again, get into the habit of using the rectangle. That way you don't mess things up. U, select. Now we're going to fill that in by either pressing Shift and B for your bucket or clicking on over here where your bucket is. You don't want to fill that in. That's the one that you want. I'm sorry. So don't do that. There we go. 1, 2, holding Shift, hit 1, 2, and then 3. Now we have all 3 of those selected. Now that's what we want to fill. So we can either do 1, click on it, or by pressing Shift, it'll do both of them. So you can do it quickly just by 1, and it'll fill them all in. Mask copy 1. This one is the tie. I believe this is the long tie. We'll do long tie. Select it. And we're going to do 1, Shift, 2, 3. Shift and B, holding Shift, fill that in, done. Next one. We did long tie. This one's going to be the short tie. There we go. And then this is going to be the knot. Nice and easy. You know exactly what you're working with. So right here, the short tie, this is going to be the bottom one. Hit U, select 1, 2, 3, Shift and B, fill that in. Or Shift and click, I mean. There we go. There, we got another one. And then our knot. So hit U, hit 1, 2, 3, Shift and B, holding Shift, click. There we go. This is our template that we're going to use for all future masks. So let's shut those off so we can start off with the face, and this will load up every single time. File, save as. It's going to be an XCF file underneath C. That's why we had it underneath. We're going to go. That's why I had you create the projects underneath your C, because it's quick to go to. Projects, and here let's create a new one called masks. Well, no, mask temp works. Okay, save. We'll do that later. You can edit that later. Again, this is just quickly to give you guys an idea as to how we're doing certain things. Now we have all these all ready to go. Let's start off with the face mask. We're going to create a new layer. We're going to shut this off. File, open as layer, and underneath textures, Camo, we have Camo, open, there we go. Hit R for rectangle, drag over the whole thing, press enter. Now we have that all selected. I want to go ahead and I want to make this digital forest camo. So I'm going to go into filters, blur, pixelize. And that's a lot. So I'm going to bring that down to 6 and make it 5. That's a little bit better. That gets the point across. Oop. Filters, blur. There we go. Pixelize. Make this 5. And then OK. There we go. Why are you messing with me? There we go. OK. And then hit R, and then click off it. That's our digital camo. That's our base. Sorry, I'm a smoker of cigarettes. This is going to be used separately. Now, try dragging and dropping. Let's bring this down below. Long tie, turn that on. Oh, look, that's cool. We can do the same thing with the face. Make sure it's above this one. Turn that on. There we go. Hey, that works for me. Digital camo, for as many that we're making here, right, we're going to want a whole nother one. So we're going to need to replicate this 4 times. So duplicate layer, and duplicate layer. You're right-clicking, by the way. So we did that 4 times. Face mask, we're going to bring above this, and we're going to shut off every single one except for these 2. Then we're going to right-click, and we're going to merge the 2 visible layers. Those eyeballs, when they're open, that means they're visible. Merge. Next one, above that, shut this off. Let's turn on another one. Right-click, merge visible layer. Merge it. Next one, above that one. Right-click, merge visible layer. And then last one. Oop. Right-click, merge visible layer. And then we're going to merge it. All right, cool. So now we have all these. And this will allow you, so we can make this a new template. File, save as, mass temp, go up here, we'll save it as mass temp 1. There, now we have the separation between all of them. Your mass template and then your digital camo, or you could call it mass template digicamo. But let's go ahead and delete this white and see what happens. Click on this button, select 1, shift 2, delete. Down here, select, oh, that's because we're not clicking. Make sure this is highlighted. Just because you turn it on doesn't mean that it's going to highlight it. So you probably should click on what you want and then turn it on first. Select, delete, digital camo, turn it on, select, delete. We'll do camo 1. Oh, sorry, this one. And because I did that in the wrong order, we got to do all of them over again, but it's pretty quick. We'll turn these on. We'll do this one, which is the face mask. Face. This one is the big tie. Big, we'll just call it big. Believe this one is the small. And then this one would be our knot. Okay. Excellent. So now that we have these all set up and we have them looking the way that we want, we can go ahead and we can export this as a finished file. When you totally export it, you're going to want to go ahead, you're going to want to merge all these together. I wouldn't do it right away because then you're going to have to go back and do everything again. Don't bother. We're just going to file, export as, textures, digicamo. Instead of mask temp, we'll call it mask camo. Yes, export. Jump back into Blender. A twice. We're going to hit tab to jump out of it. Actually, let's just jump right into our layout menu. With this selected, and we have camo, we're going to create a new one. So we're going to hit right here, browse material to be linked. We have our camo. Let's hit material. That's a new one. Or you can just create a whole nother material by hitting this one right here, new material, double click, and we'll call this forest camo. Good. We got the forest camo in there. Image texture, open image, projects, textures, digicamo, mask camo. And look at that. We have, hitting shift and tilde key, we have it all ready to go. No expensive programs, nothing that, you know, didn't take a million hours. We have it so that it looks pretty cool for the most part, and everything, it's not uniform because right over here, but you can't really tell because it's digi, you know what I mean? Yeah. So this is pretty much done for that. Let's check out to see how it holds up. Nothing we have to export or anything like that. You don't have to save this. You don't have to do anything really. This is just a template to view how it's going to look. So yeah, I mean, the thing looks like it's holding up pretty well. Now, next tutorial, I'm going to tell you how to do the normal maps and different, you know, other things. And then the third tutorial, I'm going to show you how to publish. And we'll also go into, you know, the seams and things like that. But this is enough to get you started. And I think I kept this under 30 minutes, 40 minutes, which is pretty good. But let's jump in to see how it looks in Rust. Yep. Again, I don't, my computer's kind of, it's on its way out. So that's why I was saying keep this open, because then you would just have to click on this and you'd be all ready to go, because it's just Alt Tab that you would use to punch out of it. Going into Workshop, create new items, selecting my item, which would be the bandana. Middle mouse button, W to go up, edit. So now we're going to click on this. Underneath textures, Camo, and mask camo. Open. And there it is. Not bad. Exactly what we wanted. Okay. So with that template made and ready to go, we can go ahead and I'll show you how to do other ones. But that gives you a basic idea. We're also going to get into the normals to give it more of that spla look. But again, that's next tutorial. It's a 3-part tutorial. I like to keep my tutorials into 2 or 3 parts. But that's how you can start making masks. The reason why I say masks is because that's how you make a mask in Rust. So like the knife, that's going to be a lot of bit different. We're going to be working with a lot more. It gets a lot more detailed. But leave a comment down below as to what object you think I should go ahead and tackle to show you guys how to do it. Crossbow. And we'll even get into further things like we'll make this mask super awesome next tutorial I'm going to show you a whole bunch of eye-opening things where you're going to say, oh, holy crap. But that's how you basically make a texture or make a skin, face mask skin in Rust without having to download Unity and spending money on a whole bunch of $100 programs or pirating a program. That's the legit way of doing it. Yes, quit game. So again, we went from nothing to getting ourselves a template that we can work with in the future. Obviously not this one. Let's see, file, open, mask template, there. And that's all ready to go next time you want to make a face mask. There's your template. Not bad. But leave a comment down below as to what you want me to tackle next. Because after I'm done with this part of the tutorial, I'm going to go into normal mapping and tell you what programs you can use for that. Alright guys, thank you as always.